if we are so fortunate to be part of the post-Roe generation, and even that, in a sense, sounds trite, because let me just take you on this journey of where my mind has been this evening. So when I first saw this tweet, when I actually saw this as a tweet, believe it or not. When I first saw this as a tweet, I saw it from the Blaze before I even saw the Politico article. And I texted it to my producer and I actually said, well, this seems kind of weird that this tweet isn't accompanied by an article or anything else, that I just saw the tweet. And obviously, before he even had a chance to respond, I saw the Politico piece and the whole thing came to fruition. But my first reaction to this was, I don't believe this. I don't think that this is true. I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think this is a real draft, because of the enormity of what it is. And what it is so often, even pro-lifers like myself don't talk a lot about abortion. You could probably count how many times we've discussed abortion on this show, and it's a fractional number. It's a very small number. It's probably under 5% of the episodes I talk about abortion, even though I think that the right to life is the fundamental right. Without the right to life, all other rights become obsolete. And abortion is the killing of an unborn life. I mean, this is the human rights abuse of our lifetime. And it's what I call my pet topic. It's the topic that I'm most passionate about. It's the topic where I think the fight between good and evil at the physical, the moral, and the spiritual level comes to fruition. And if I could, I would talk about abortion in every single episode. I would focus a lot more time than I do talking about abortion. And the reason that I don't is because people don't like to hear about it. Now hear me out with what I'm saying here. People don't like to hear about it. And the people who don't like to hear about it are actually pro-lifers. And I understand this. Pro-lifers don't like to talk about it because we understand, or don't like to hear about it all the time, because we actually understand what it is of the abortion procedure. We understand that a life begins at conception, and that's a fully human child in the mother's womb. And then the abortion procedure either essentially suffocates, it deprives the child of nutrients, it pulls the child apart limb from limb, it injects poison into the baby's heart to induce a heart attack, or it crushes the baby's skull and sucks out the brain. And I say these words, again, feeling somewhat outside of my body, because it's really hard to fathom that happens so often in our nation, that thousands of times a day, little babies are killed for convenience, and that we have allowed this for decades to happen in our country. That over 60 million babies, as beautiful as my daughter, have been killed. And the leak is a distraction from the enormity of what this is. That if our work, decades of prayer and compassion and legislative activity and PR, in a sense, trying to talk to people, discuss with people, change people's hearts and minds, reach out to women in crisis pregnancies, reach out to fathers and encourage them in active fatherhood to humanize these babies and love them and elevate them to the position of value that they hold in our society. It all comes down to this. Just like these 9 justices, different justices, but in the same positions, with a stroke of the pen, took away the right to life for those 60 million babies. These justices are on the verge of restoring that right, of saving these children.